So, the general procedure in questions 1 to 8, find the equation of the tangent of the curve. Step 1, define dy dx. Step 2, replace x value with point given, replace x value with x coordinate given to get slope. And finally, step 3, use use the equation of the line, so that's y minus y1 equals m bracket x minus x1 to find the equation of the tangent. 3 steps every time. Okay, so let's begin with number, I think it was number 5 I was asked to do. So number 5, let's look at number 5. Now number 5, what we're going to change number 5 is into 2x plus x to the minus 1. Is everybody happy with the x to the minus 1?
Yeah.
Just converting this to a power rule. I haven't differentiated yet. Now I'm going to differentiate. And I'm going to get 2, because that the x disappears. Bring the minus 1 to the front. Minus 1, x to the minus 2. Upon completion of that, I know that x is a half. So I'm going to find out dy dx at x equals a half. So replace it in a half, and I'm going to get 2 minus 1 times a half to the power of minus 2. I'm not even going to worry too much about that. I'm just going to put it into the calculator and let the calculator do the legwork for myself. No point stressing out. 1 over 2, and then to the power of minus 2. Minus 2. And we find out that the slope is minus 2. Okay? Slope therefore equals minus 2. Now I'm going to do y minus y1 equals m bracket x minus x1. And what we're going to get here is we're going to get we're not given the y value. Now that's an interesting one, but I have a y equation. So remember, this equation represents some sort of curve, and the x, if you replace x with the x value, it has to give you back out the y value. So that doesn't stop you either. Okay, so 2x plus 1 over x, x equals a half. So what we're going to do here is going to be y equals, just working out what y is, 2 times a half plus 1 divided by a half. It's going to be 1 plus 2, which is 3. And that point therefore becomes a half 3. Now, you could also back that information up. If you had time, you could indulge yourself in the table. And you could say, okay, that's going to be 2x. And then you could say plus, what's a 1 over x? And all you have to do with the table there is just say, okay, I want to find out a half. And then at 2, do a step of 0.5. And then you can indulge yourself with knowing that the first point is 0.5 and 3. A half 3. It's also 1 3 as well. So, and it starts rising. Okay? So you actually verified your point is on the graph.
So is your step 3 just to do the slope formula? The
equation of the line. So y minus y1. y1 is 3 equals minus 2 into x minus a half. Now that I know that, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to just going to multiply out. You're going to get minus 2x plus 1. Bring everything over one side. And you're going to get 2x plus y minus 4 equals 0. Okay? Now, visually, what this looks like is, can I get somebody to first call out the curve to me, and a second person to call out the equation of this line in front of you? Has anybody got that equation in front of them now? Okay, so I'm just going to ask you to show me the curve. I'm going to show you the curve, and I'm going to show you the line I just got. Okay, so here's what it'll look like. Okay, so file new. Okay guys, what is the equation of the curve? 2x plus
y.
1 over x, isn't it?
2x plus 1 over x. Alright,
yeah. Curve. There it is there. You can actually see it's quite a weird curve. It's actually not a continuous function. It's broken up it looks like that the y-axis is an asymptote. That's not going across. Okay, now we'll give me a look at this. What's that line we got? Y equals
2x.
Sorry? Oh, sorry. The line I got.
Yeah, 2x plus y minus 4.
2x plus y minus 4 equals 0. And we can see there, tangent at the point 1/2, 3. Okay? So that's exactly what we're doing every time. Now, we're going to go back to the top. We're going to take the differentiation one. Now, differentiation one, once again, it's only the actual differentiation that's the problem. It's not necessarily the technique. Okay, so what we're going to have here is we're going to have y. We're going to differentiate. Now, when you're differentiating 2 cos x, the 2 goes directly down. What happens to cos x? It turns into minus sin x. And the sin x will turn into a cos x. So you have minus 2 sin x plus cos x. Okay? Upon completion of that, what you then have to do is insert x equals 0. Minus 2 sin 0 plus cos 0. And what is sin 0? Nothing. Cos 0 is 1. Your slope therefore equals 1. So now you have a slope of 1 and a point 0, 0, 2. And all you're going to do is y minus y1 equals m bracket x minus x1. And then what you're going to get is y minus 2 equals m bracket x minus 0. Oh, sorry, I forgot the m value is 1, isn't it? So that's 1. Bring it over. It's going to be 1x, right? Bring the 1x out of your side, you get minus 1x plus y minus 2 equals 0. That's an acceptable answer. What I might do is multiply both sides by minus 1 to get a positive x if it asks me to get it in that fashion. Either way, if I put both of these lines in, they're actually the same line and they look the same and they're exactly the same. Just a makeover. Another answer people might do is you might leave y equals x. Was it y equals x plus 2? That's another way of writing the same answer. Okay? So lads, moving on. 10. Find the coordinates of the points of the curve where y equals x plus 1 over x at which the tangents to the curve are parallel to the line. So look, I have a curve, okay, and I have a tangent, and what he says is this tangent is parallel to this line here. Alright? Now please remember, first derivative equals slope, correct? That's what we've learnt. First derivative is the slope. Now, we don't know the slope, but we know a line who has the same slope. So we're going to get this line here, x minus y plus 8 equals 0. We're going to isolate y, and we're going to get y equals x plus 8. This line is just another line that's outside the tangent that we know is parallel to the tangent. So if we use y equals mx plus c, what is the slope of this line then? 1. So the first derivative should be equal to 1. If we get the right coordinates. So look what happens now. First derivative, okay, is going to be x, it's a quotient rule, isn't it? Yeah, so guys, y equals x over 1 plus x. What we're going to do next is we're going to do the quotient rule. U equals x, du dx therefore is 1. Phi equals 1 plus x. Therefore, the v dx is equal to 1 because 1 is 0 and 1x turns into 1. We're then going to do the quotient rule. And when we do the quotient rule, it's phi times the u dx, which is 1 plus x multiplied by 1 minus u times the v dx all over phi squared. And what we're going to get here is, that's going to be 1 plus x minus x, correct? And that is going to be 1. I'm actually going to square at the bottom this time, and it'll come apparent why in a second. It's going to be 1 plus 2x plus x squared. Let's go back to our information. Find the coordinates. Find x, y values for which the tangents to the curve are parallel to the line x minus y plus 8 equals 0. And then find the two equations of these two tangents at these points. So look at this, guys, okay? So, this slope, what did we find out the slope was? 1. Now, usually we would put in the x values and we would find out that the answer is 1. But this is the opposite way around. We're actually given the slope, now we have to find out the x values. So in essence, we just have to solve this equation here. And that's something that you haven't done before. We just cross multiply and we get 1 equals 1 plus 2x plus x squared. 1's will cancel on both sides. What I'm actually solving is this here. Once again, nothing you haven't done. X bracket x plus 2 equals 0. This means that x equals 0 or x equals minus 2. Now, you know that x is 0 and x is minus 2. And you know that the original formula is y equals x over 1 plus x. Replace in your values to find the y coordinate. So when x equals 0, what happens? 0 over 1, which is 0. This means that your curve goes through the 0, 0. Then what about this one here? Replace it with minus 2. Minus 2 over 1 minus 2. Minus 2 over minus 1, which gets you y equals 2. We now have two coordinates. 0, 0 and minus 2, 2. Now guys, look at this. What we're then going to do is we're then going to do our formula. Question says tangents, not tangent. Plural means I need two of them. So it's going to be y minus 0 equals, what's the slope? 1. X minus 0. This is the line y equals x. The next one going to be y minus 2 equals 1 into x plus 2. That's going to be y equals x plus 2. This is actually x plus 4 because that minus 2 goes over the other side to become a plus 2. So x plus 4. Okay. The slope of the tangent of the curve y equals ax squared plus bx plus 6 at the point 2, 4 is 3. Find the value of a and the value of b. Now guys, there's two pieces of information here starting off, okay? The first piece of information you got to understand is that this is the form of a quadratic curve. I am sure if it's U-shaped, I am sure if it's N-shaped. I'm just going to draw a U-shaped one anyway. What happens is, if my input is 2, my output is 4. So, the actual equation is the actual point is an equation in itself. So, for example, it's going to be a times 2 squared plus b times 2 plus 6. I'm going to get 4a plus 2b. Bring over the minus 6, comes a minus 6, becomes minus 2. Divide both sides by 2. Minus 1 equals 2a plus b. 2a plus b equals minus 1. What type of equation is that? It's a linear, but it's half a simultaneous. The fact that it's half a simultaneous must mean the other half lies within the information of the question. Now, we're in the differentiation section of the course, and so far, in this question, I haven't differentiated. So, obviously means that this derivative is going to be the second half of the question. Now,
how would we recognise that in a test?
Well, at the moment, you're just recognising by the fact that you're in the differentiation chapter. In a test, your keyword is slope. Slope means first derivative. Alright?
Yeah.
So that is the keyword. Slope of tangent. Keywords. If you see slope followed by a general formula and you're in paper 1, it's a differentiation question. Okay? So you're going to get the y dx ends up to be, bring the 2 to the front, 2ax plus b. This slope equals 3 when I put in x equals 2. So it's going to be 4a plus b equals 3. I'm going to change that into, I'm just going to be lazy here, guys. I'm going to change this one here, equation a, I'm going to multiply by minus 1. I'm going to get minus 2a minus b equals plus 1. 2a equals 4, a therefore equals 2. Now I'm going to find out what b is. So that's going to be 4 plus b equals minus 1. Where did I get the 4 from? 2 times 2, because a is 2, equals 4. P therefore is minus 5. Happy enough with that? And it's going to be 2 and minus 5. Now guys, that works out. That's grand. That's all you need to find out. Okay. Now, moving on. What question is that meant to be? I think it was 14. 14. Keywords. Show that there is only one point on the curve where the slope is 0. General formula, the word slope. Differentiate. Pick up marks. 18x squared plus 12x plus 2. Everybody happy with that? 3 to the front multiplies by 6. 2 to the front multiplies by 6 to give you 12. And then the x just disappears. We know that the first derivative must be equal to 0. Why is that? The slope is 0. Now it says, show that there is only one point. What does one point mean? One x value and one y value. Not tangents, not points. Point means I should get one x value and one y value when I solve this. Okay, so what I'm going to get is, and the other keyword is point. The x value alone won't get you full marks. You need the x and the y value. So divide by 2, we get 9x squared plus 6x plus 1. You could then do the reference number. Reference number is going to be 9 by 1, which is 9. Break it up into 3 by 3. 9x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 1 equals 0. Take out 3x, bracket 3x plus 1 plus 1, bracket 3x plus 1 equals 0. We're going to get 3x plus 1, 3x plus 1. Is that what we're expecting? How do you know? Because when you solve them both equal to 0, it's the same thing. There's only one x value that will sort this out. 3x equals minus 1, x equals minus a third. You're not done yet though, because you got to find out what the y value is. Y equals 6x cubed plus 6x squared. What's the other part? 2x minus 1. Replace all x's with minus a third. And if somebody be quick enough to do that on the calculator for me, I'd really like to know what that point is. Okay, so you would go to your calculator, and obviously you're just going to input all these values. Minus a third cubed plus 6 times minus a third squared. Once you have it, let me know. If you beat me to it, perfect. Plus 2 times minus a third. And then finally move it over. Did you get it? Okay, I'm the first one there, so minus 11 over 9. Anybody else? Okay, so this point is the point minus a third minus 11 over 9. Okay, and there's only one point. Find the equation of the tangent to this point. What does that mean?
Sub it into 1 minus 1.
Sub it into the tangent is a line. And what, oddly enough, we're going to get here is y minus, it's going to be y minus 11 over 9, which is going to be y plus 11 over 9. What is the slope? What is the slope? 0. So we don't even have to worry about the x values, do we? Yeah. It would have been minus a third just for completion's sake, but we don't have to worry about that. So it's going to be y plus 11 over 9 equals 0. Multiply both sides, multiply by 9, so I'm going to get 9y plus 11 equals 0. Okay, that's your equation of your line. So, the curve y equals p plus qx all over x bracket x plus 2. X can't be 0. Why cannot x not be 0? It turns the bottom into 0. X can't be minus 2. Turns that into 0 as well. It's always the same thing. Has a 0 slope at the point 1 minus 2. Find the value of p and find the value of q. Once again, guys, I said there's two pieces of information here. The first piece of information is that y is minus 2 when x is what number? 1. So replace in that 1 into 1 plus 2. That's going to be 3 on the bottom. Cross multiply the 3 and we get minus 6 equals p plus q. 1/2 of a simultaneous equation. Upon completion of this, what we're going to have next is we're told that it has a 0 slope. First derivative equals 0. What type of derivative is this? It's going to be a quotient rule. I'm going to change it slightly. Before I even go about differentiating, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it into x squared plus 2x on the bottom. Okay? And once I've done this, what I'm going to go about doing is I'm going to go about differentiating it using the quotient rule, and then we're obviously going to need more space. Okay? So what's going to happen here is we're going to get u equals p plus qx. Can anybody tell me what the u dx is? P is a regular number, which means it goes to q is a regular number in front of x. Just q. So the u dx is q on its own. Okay. What about the bottom? V equals x squared plus 2x. Differentiate. And I think that's what you gave me, is 2x plus 2. Quotient rule and differentiate. So quotient rule is going to be phi times the u dx minus u times the v dx all over v squared. I'd be hoping that you don't need me to put that up anymore at this stage. Now, what we're going to get is phi squared, which is x squared plus 2x times the u dx, which is q. What's it minus? U times the v dx, so p plus qx times 2x plus 2, all divided by x squared plus 2x squared. Now, if I square that out, what's going to happen to me? I'm going to get x to the power of 4, correct? And it's looking like a very difficult question, but actually no, it's not. The slope is 0. So when you cross multiply up, the bottom disappears. The bottom is irrelevant. See, any number, if the answer is 0, it only means the numerator is 0. So we know enough information to say, okay, the numerator is 0. Now let's look what happens here. It's going to be qx squared plus, what's it, 2qx. And that's going to be, now, this one here, this minus changes the complexion of the full thing. So I'm going to put in a minus, a bracket. I'm going to get 2px plus 2p plus 2qx squared. 2qx squared, and what's the last part then? Plus 2qx. Now, let's have a look at what happens here. Well, anything cancels for a start. That will cancel with that. What did I cancel? Sorry, minus. Yeah, perfect. Okay, now look at this. What happens next is we're going to have qx squared minus 2qx squared. So what's qx squared minus 2, qx squared, we'll just write it out, no skipping. 2qx squared minus 2px minus 2p all equals 0. We're going to get minus qx squared minus 2px minus 2p equals 0. And then what we're going to get here is qx squared. I'm going to multiply both sides by minus equals 0. Now, what happens here, guys, is that we actually forgot to sub in the x value. We were meant to sub in the x value right at the start, the x value being 1. But it doesn't matter, we actually haven't affected our question by going on further. So what we're going to get is q times 1 squared plus 2p times 1 plus 2p equals 0. And now all we're going to get is q plus 4p equals 0. And that's a much healthier looking equation now. So remember, when we differentiate, we were meant to replace x with 1. Okay, and now we have p plus q equals minus 6. Now, what we're going to do is we're just going to multiply this one, the bottom one, by minus, and plus, and what we're going to get is plus q minus q, 4p minus p, 3p equals 6, p equals 2. And now we know that p equals 2. What we can say next is that p plus q equals minus 6, p equals 2, 2 plus q equals minus 6. Bring the 2 over to the side, q therefore equals minus 8. Okay, happy enough with that? Okay, let's move on. Have we answered the question? Double check?
Yeah.
Find p and q, right? Question is answered. Moving on to 16. Okay. So 16 is a curve represented by y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Guys, in this question we see it's a, b and c we're looking for. 3 different letters means 3 different equations. Previously, if I gave you a question like this, x squared plus ax plus b, what would you tell me? You probably only need 2 equations to solve that. Now, first things first, we know how many points on this graph. We actually know 2. 1, 8 and 0 minus 7. That means for both of these, when y value is 8, when the x value is 1. That will get me an equation straight away. And this equation will be 8 equals a plus b plus c. There's my first equation in very little time. Okay? Second one is when x is 0, y is minus 7. Minus 7 equals a times 0 squared, plus b times 0 plus c. C equals minus 7. Be aware, if you didn't have a 0, you're going to have to do it out a very long way. As in, you're going to have one of these equations that you're going to have a, b and c represented in all 3 equations, and it brings you back to chapter 1 where you had to break them all down. Okay, that might be what number 17 does. Okay, and then finally, we're 1 equation down and we've used both points. Now here's your information. At the point 1, 8, slope is 17. There's that key word, slope. What does slope make you do every time? Differentiate. And we're going to get 2ax plus b. The c disappears, yeah? And that equals 17 when x equals 1. 2a plus b equals 17. Okay, here's our 3 equations. Equation 1, equation 2, equation 3. What I suggest is we substitute equation 2 into equation 1. We get 8 equals a plus b minus 7. Minus 7 goes on the other side and we get a plus b equals 15. Plus 7. Now we multiply it by minus and we get minus a minus b equals 15. Minus 15. A therefore equals 2. And if A equals 2, B must be 13. There you go. Find the values of A, B and C. Done. Find the coordinates of the 2 points where the curve cuts the x-axis. Well, we've just after changing this question into the following equation. It's now worth 2x squared, is that right? 13x and minus 7. Y now equals 2x squared plus 13x minus 7. Forget all about this. This is all about part 1. No more additional information there, okay? Now, what's going to ask me next is what type of curve is this? It's U-shaped, okay? And what happens is you have your U-shaped curve and you want to find out where it hits the axis. What's the value for y on the x-axis?
0.
So you want to solve this equation here equals to 0. Now, it's given me no case to 2 decimal places, so I'm actually thinking I can do it using the reference number. If it said to 2 decimal places, I'd be thinking I had to use the minus b formula. Bottom line, the minus b formula gets you the answer either way, but reference number is pretty faster. 2 times minus 7,
14.
and then that turns into plus 14 minus 1. 2x squared, we'll do it this way. Sure, might as well. Then factorize out x into 2x minus 1 plus 7 into 2x minus 1 equals 0. We get x plus 7 and 2x minus 1 equals 0. And then we have to get x equals minus 7, 2x equals 1, x equals a half. So it's going to be minus 7 and a half. Does it say points or x values? Coordinates. So minus 7, 0 and a half 0. We actually don't have to work out the y value this time because we know it's 0. Next part of the equation is sketch out the curve. If you guys have done this so many times that I say you're finding it relatively easy at this stage, you just put in your 2x squared, you put in your 13x is it?
13x.
And then you're going to put in your minus 7. You're going to pick a healthy number. Let's go from minus 5 up to plus 5. Let's see if everything is here. Is everything here, guys? It's on its way up or down?
Up or down?
Down, down, down,
Up.
We found the minimum point is here, which is perfect for us. Where across the x-axis? Well, you can see it. Can anybody tell me, according to this, where does it cross the x-axis? In between x equals 0 and x equals? How do I know that? It changes sign from minus 7 to plus. That's how I know that it crosses there. Now I need to find the other one. What's the other one again? Minus 7. What does that mean? I didn't go back far enough. So I'll just go to minus 10 and then I'll find it. Okay? Now, that's and you sketch the curve, and as all you guys know already, if I just was to just get all these points and just put them in here, we're going to get y equals 2x squared. What's a plus 13x? Minus 7. Lo and behold, it's a very big graph. That's why it's not coming out there. We got to, there you go. And that's your graph there. Crossing at minus 7, 0. And you're going to draw just the main points here, here. You're going to draw your minimum. And then you're going to draw your other value there, and then you can get one other value and just link them together. That's a sketch, okay? Alright guys,